30% below the average electric cooperative rate in Texas. Based on these factors, in late 2022, we retained an independent electric rate design firm to evaluate our electric rates. Virtually all electric utilities use outside experts to evaluate and advise them on electric rates and structure. This independent electric rate firm used a process to evaluate electric rates known as a cost of service study. This process is widely accepted as a best practice within our industry. The process is rigorous and methodical. It balances the financial needs of the cooperative with the needs of the member. It is a process that ensures fair and non-discriminatory rate structures. It is a process that is consistent and defendable in both method and results. The results of this process showed that BEC needs to adjust their electric rates. After careful review and consideration, your board of directors approved a resolution in April to adjust the electric rates effective August 1st. I'm proud of the accomplishments that BEC has made over the last 10 years, including improving our electric system reliability, offering alternative energy options relating to solar and energy storage for our members, offering programs including time-based usage and our Energy Saver program, which helps our members reduce their energy costs through energy efficiency improvements on their home, financed over 10 years at 1% interest. And by bringing affordable and reliable high-speed internet access to our membership. We were able to accomplish all this without raising our electric rates. While no one enjoys paying more for electricity, we do offer several optional rates and programs designed specifically to help our members reduce their electric costs. These include our time-based usage residential rate, which is a variable energy rate based on the time of day and the season of when the energy is used. The data suggests that residential members on this rate save about 10% over the traditional just flat residential rate. We also offer an Energy Saver program, which can save our members up to 25% through home energy efficiency improvements, financed by BEC and billed by BEC. We offer payment options as well, including budget billing, levelized billing, and prepay for those members who want more control over their energy payments. This rate change will enable us to meet the growing demand for electricity and to continue our efforts of improving reliability of the electric grid. It will also allow us to continue to meet the needs of our members with respect to quality customer service and allow us to be strong contributors to the communities we serve. Thank you, and I will now answer questions.
Yes, I have a question.
Hello?
I understand that you hired a third-party contractor to help you determine the rates.
Mm-hmm.
Have you also hired a third-party contractor to come in and help BEC determine where the inefficiencies in the company lie?
We have consultants. We also have a process improvement team internally that's always looking to improve processes and improve.
Independent third party?
We've hired several consultants to help us do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you find?
Well, we found that a lot of our inefficiencies are basically in the member service facing part of our business. When people ask for electric service, there's a lot of information or a lot of that we require from membership, and we're working to improve that. Thank you.
Why are there no savings geared? Why are there no savings geared towards commercial? It's all geared towards residential.
Because as I said, 90% of our members are residential. The commercial customers, the large commercial customers, I contacted individually. We only have a handful. And the other commercial customers are pretty much, the rate adjustments are similar to residential. We have a chart back there which basically breaks down the various rate structures and their impacts. They're very, very similar.
But we're, as a commercial business, are not offered the same things that residentials are as a small business.
Yes, we do offer those. We offer.
What do you consider a small business?
We offer time-based usage. We offer Energy Saver to both commercial and residential customers. We have several commercial customers and churches who've taken advantage of Energy Saver. And one church in particular I know saved up to 50% of their electric bill because we helped finance their HVAC system. So we offer these programs to both residential and commercial customers.
Why did you wait so long to make a single jump instead of smaller incrementals?
Because the rate study that's done, the cost of service study, is our practice of how and determining when and how much the rate needs to be.
I know, but to make a 13.1% increase all at once, couldn't that have been spread over the last 5, 6, 7 years, a little at a time?
There's an argument to say that we should just adjust rates every year. Here's the problem I have with that. You're going to be out there saying, well, you just raised these rates and it's not justified by any kind of cost of service study. We look at the actual data and let the data and the process drive the amount.
You don't think 10 years is too long to go between those?
I think 10 years, I was hoping we'd go longer. I mean, I recognize that most electric utilities raise their rates every 2 to 3 years. And investor owns every year. I take very seriously the financial impacts that has on our membership, and I'm doing everything. We are doing everything we can to minimize those impacts. Like I said, after Winter Storm Uri, it would have been easy for us to just pass those costs directly on to you. We didn't. And we didn't because we really want to try to minimize the financial impacts. I understand that at this point, you know, it's a significant increase.
Yeah,
but,
a huge
but
significant one.
The significant increase is driven by the economies of what's going on with inflation, interest rates, and our market today. That's.
I have 2 more.
Hi, can you elaborate as to how BEC is involved with solar going forward?
So we offer our members solar with BEC, and we offer it with as part of our Energy Saver program. You go through the process. The first thing is, back in 2016, when we started looking at solar, a lot of our members were buying solar from third-party contractors. These third-party contractors were not looking out for the membership. They were overpaying. They were buying poor quality products. So we felt, as an advocate for our membership, we should make sure that our members realize there's an alternative, that they could buy from BEC, that we would basically be ensuring that, first off, that they're not oversized, that they're buying quality products made here in the U.S., and not being exposed to the potential high costs of contractors who may not have the best interests of you at heart. So we do offer solar, we do offer energy storage.
So what is BEC's involvement and what have you gained from Pine Gate being involved in Bandera County?
The Pine Gate, we're not affiliated with that. We're not really involved. We're neutral on that. We have no say in it. As a transmission and distribution utility, we are required to follow the laws and rules established by the state of Texas and ERCOT. And this is a transaction between a developer of a property and ERCOT. We just basically build what is needed to facilitate it, and that's paid for by the developer. BEC is not.
So BEC is not making any money off of the Pine Gate company?
No.
Is any of BEC's, I guess, new development, is there going to be a substation built there? And is any of this money that's being, I guess, paid for by us, the customers, going to be used to build those substations for that solar farm that is going to be so incredibly large?
The solar farm and ERCOT are paying a vast majority. We are looking at possibly utilizing the same site to provide some distribution feeders, but it's a nominal cost, and it has nothing to do with the rate increase. It has nothing to do with why we're here today. Again, those costs are paid for by the developer, and it's a contractual obligation between ERCOT and the developer. We have to facilitate that. We're required to.
One last question. Did BEC get paid any money from Pine Gate to build their solar farm here?
Well, we get paid an initial cost that gets then reimbursed. So the process works. They have to put up money. We hold the money. Once the Pine Gate facility or Rio Lago, whatever you want to call it, becomes energized, then that money gets uplifted and spread across the state of Texas. That's by the rules. So they pay us, but we have to hold it because that money is then paid for by the state.
So then where does that money go that they paid y'all? And can you elaborate on how much money they did pay y'all?
That money goes basically they pay us, and then they are reimbursed for that money, and then that money goes in our transmission rate filing. So basically the state of Texas, it's spread over all the citizens of Texas.
Okay, so it's not just for BEC that they paid y'all, that money goes Texas-wide?
It doesn't come to us. They have to put up a deposit, which keeps them honest, okay? And if once they build the facility, then they are reimbursed, and that is uplifted to the state.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I'm just wondering if any of the extra, if there will be any extra, might be going into expanding access to the broadband internet for the areas of the county that don't have that access, or the area that you serve in the BEC?
Right. So in 2019, the state of Texas passed a law which prohibits us from expanding broadband using electric revenue. Okay? And so we have to be very judicious on where that money gets spent and how broadband gets expanded. Right now we have basically fiber in front of 82% of our membership. The remaining 18%, it's very hard to build a justification on economic return, and so we haven't pursued that. I will say I'm on the Governor's Broadband Development Council. We have hope that with this BEAD program, the federal money, $42 billion that's been approved, that money will filter down through Texas. We have every plan to file for that money to help us complete our expansion. But I can't use electric rates for building it. I have to wait for either grant money or economic conditions to change.
Do you have any idea of I know the federal grant process is a long one. Do you have any ideas for those of us in there 18% that don't have access to it? We'd love to have some kind of time frame on that.
So the actual allocation comes out at the end of June. So here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. The rules of how it will be played out will probably be another 6 months. And then applications will start. So probably in early 2024 or mid-2024, there'll be clear rules on what areas are available, and they're going to submit for people to submit applications. At that time, we will evaluate what areas that the state has deemed are appropriate for us, and we will apply.
So the state has a say in which areas?
Yes.
Is there
Yes.
anything, could we call our own state representatives and say, hey, we need this in this area, or is there something we could do on our end to?
Well, unfortunately, the federal people write the rules, and so the state has to follow the federal rule. Right now, the FCC views broadband as 25 megabits download, 3 megabits upload. Okay, that's really, in my mind, that's not broadband.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's what the FCC says. So the federal government writes the rules around how broadband is defined. Here in Texas, I've been pushing for 100 megabit as the minimum, and the state of Texas has agreed. The state is working with the NTIA and the people in the federal level to get that approved. So my understanding is of today that yes, it'll be 100. So that'll improve our chances. We will hopefully at that point have the ability to provide broadband based on the new rules.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about what percentage of the increase is due to your increased costs from when it comes to wholesale purchase by you of power?
I would say that probably 60 to 70%.
those of us who have installed the solar, we sell some of that back to you. Will we be seeing an increase?
Yes, you will be getting an increase in 10%. So right now it's 4.3 cents. It'll go to 4.72 cents. And it's that same increase.
Why does it not more track what you're paying for other energy?
Because there are more components to just strictly energy. A big part of that is the transmission part, which, if you remember, I mentioned transmission costs have gone up 100%. They're going to continue to go up. So you're going to start seeing this separation between, you're going to have this energy, and then you're going to have the grid, this transmission component. I'm paying basically for fairness to all, I can't subsidize or discriminate. So I pay to our solar customers who are generating and backfeeding the same that I would pay to LCRA or to another power supplier. And those are decisions that we've made. There's more to the energy than just strictly energy. There's also the transmission, and that's the difference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I don't consider myself a customer of Bandera Electric. I consider myself a member. And I know you made a comparison with the increase in availability charge with eggs. And just like everybody else, when eggs went up, I didn't buy eggs anymore. But I don't have the option to not buy electricity. And when I buy electricity, I have to buy it from you. I live in a rural area, so I have more than one meter. So when I use zero electricity, I have almost $100 now for my availability. And raising availability means that everybody pays equal, but equal is rarely fair. Not all of us make the same paycheck. Matter of fact, probably most of us don't make the same paycheck. And by relating the cost toward the availability rather than the usage, you have penalized people at the bottom who can't afford that availability charge. So we can use no electricity and we still are paying more for electricity. And when your property taxes go up and your groceries go up, some of us have tightened the belt tight enough that it's about to cut us in half. And if you want to tie it to usage, then those who can afford to use it, that they should pay that difference. For those of us who I have no washer, I have no dryer, I have no residential water, and I pay $90 now for availability of electricity that I cannot afford to use.
Okay. I'm sure your frustration. Again, the reason we hire an independent expert is to look at how the cost allocations of what's the cost of our system and how those costs get allocated. And there's a component that's allocated as an availability charge.
I'm
and
sorry,
a component.
sir. Can I interrupt? I didn't have a question. I had a statement. So you don't need to answer my question.
Okay.
As I said, equal is not fair.
Okay.
You said the wages across the board throughout the U.S. have gone up about 31%. What did the wages for BEC actually go up?
We've held the line on that. And again, I would say that, wages for BEC, I don't have an actual dollar amount as far as that, because wages is an aggregate number. But I can assure you that over the last decade, that it has not gone up 31%. It is well below that. We are constantly looking for ways to cut costs and manage our members' money.
How much does the company cost that looks at all of this increasing and aggregates it out?
You mean how
What
much?
do they charge?
So how much did we charge for the independent, for the?
Yeah, how much did you have to pay?
About $40,000.
Is there other companies out there? I mean, you're
We
including
bid,
that
we
in our
bid,
bill,
yeah,
obviously.
we bid this out. We look at alternatives. We always go with, we look at alternatives and suppliers. But again, that's the best practice in the industry.
You were talking about transmission and the cost of it being separate from the electric. Is that put out for bid as well, or is that just
No.
one person? one
The
company?
transmission costs are part of power supply costs, which is from the ERCOT, from the state. We have no control over that.
And what is NTIA?
NTIA is the telecommunications part of the federal government that basically oversees Treasury and telecommunications. That's what it's, NTIA.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Yvonne McPherson, 294 Roebuck, Precinct 1. I do. You can't hear me? I'm Yvonne McPherson, 294 Roebuck, Hot Creek, Precinct number 1. First question I have for you is when the lights went out. And we had a problem up there in precinct number 1 and precinct 4. And apparently BEC, I think it was last year when the grid went down, because I have ADT for security. Yeah, so I have Wi-Fi, because I have the ADT, which depends on my Wi-Fi, which depends on my power. So therefore I have to pay double for that. I don't mind that. But I have a list of all the times the power went out, power went on, power went out, power went on. But I hadn't noticed it came out and on the older side of where I'm at, Pipe Creek. You know, and we've been around time. So I get that, but I'd like to approach you with that. I just don't have the documentaries right now. I'd like to, but I was in a rush. But anyway, that's great, because I want to know what I'm paying for. And another question is, you're raising it 13%. Instead of just slam bam, thank you ma'am, we're just going to go ahead and raise it up. Why can't you do that in increments? Because I have 4 meters. I pay $25 for each one of them. And now you're going to go up to $30 a month? What has changed? Because I found out BC only controls, they have the ownership of just the bulb. And then y'all come up here, y'all just push your button. I've already seen the electrical outlets. Because I have some units, I have an RV park, it ain't nothing easy. So I get that. People use, I have to calculate their kilowatt usage, which used to be 0.09710, whatever. And now you're gonna raise it up to 0.0201. Is that correct? Kilowatt usage. Okay. That's quite enough increase for me. Because I have solar panels that I paid $18,000 for. See, I paid out y'all cash, but y'all not giving me any kind of like reprieve on that. I see my Apollo-ware is one kind of subsidiary that you use, your company BEC uses, to send me notices like, hey, your AC's working. It used $10.13. Oh, yippee, but good for me. And then it looks at others. Other who? I have got no comparison. Others. Okay, I just arbitrarily speaking. Others what? It doesn't give me that. And then you have BEC has hired another company called Eraser or Eraser something to give me a monthly quota about what my bill is going to be. I'm like, hold on, didn't you already subsidize Apollo-ware? And then after 3 months of my Apollo-ware usage from my son, that after 3 months it has to be $9 or $7 a month to charge me for using it, which I really don't care. I use what I use. I unplug what I unplug. But from what I see, with the price going up 13%, you might as well go on 2025, because you're going to kill us all. We won't have electricity. I won't use my washer and dryer. You know, I have an oxygen tank. I'll be grateful just to charge that puppy. You know, but at your cost, why would I charge it? Because I have to unplug everything at night, like your BEC representative told me to do. At night, unplug everything and use what you want to, all during the day. So you and charge, the chargeback gets to BEC, where it goes, when you make extra amount of energy, it is sold back to the grid. But I don't get a reprieve off that. I'm not asking for one. I'm just saying, why in the world are you gonna charge me that much money for the 4 meters I run and the people in their RVs? Their light bill runs $80 to $60 a month. I got one guy, I don't even think he's home. He's like $22. I wish I was him, but I'm not. I am scraping. And I don't believe this is fair, but I do believe about fairness. Everybody wants electricity. What happens if we just stop buying it? What do you do about that? I know about ERCOT. I've already heard that on TV. I know what they did. They bazoogled us, bamboozled us at $1 million last year. In 2020, we almost froze to death. 8 days I had no sewage. 8 days I had no water. I didn't see BC out there. I see nobody out there, my friends. Friends giving me eggs. Thank God I had a fireplace. I didn't thank BEC for nothing. What'd you give me? Nothing. But now you want to roll up a bill on 2020 every time y'all are out? No, sir. No, y'all can do this in increments. Thank you. Yvonne McPherson. Hi, y'all. I love it. This is my church. Have fun.
So how come the board made a decision without discussing it with the public to raise these rates?
The board is tasked with making that decision.
But the board works for us.
That is true.
So why didn't we, the public who pay your bills, not have involvement before you guys made a decision that would affect everybody in this room and everybody that is not in this room today?
Because the process used is consistent and methodical, and it's done by an independent expert, and that is a skill set that is not up to, I will say, just public opinion. I just don't like that rate. Okay, the reason we have an independent expert look at it is because the costs are what they are, and they making sure that they're fair and non-discriminatory is a very technical process. We made recommendations to the board. The board looked at several different options, and this was the best option.
So we paid for that independent person to come in and tell y'all to raise our rates.
It's part
Also.
it's part of the operation of the business.
I just think that BEC needs to do a better job of involving the people who pay your bills, which is us, your general public. You guys need to have better communication with us who pay your bills, us who are the members. Why isn't that happening? Why are things going on in Bandera County that BEC is not communicating with us?
I'm not sure what your question is there. What communication? We communicated this meeting. We're going to have another meeting tomorrow.
Well, the meeting is essentially not, it's not worth the paper it's written on to be here because you guys have already raised the rates. So we had no say-so in it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys need to communicate with your members, with who pays your bills, with who elects everybody that's on this board is an elected position. So we put y'all there. We can take you off of there, but we need you guys supporting us. Like, you guys want us to support you. Y'all need to support your community, and you guys need to involve your community. And I don't think that's just my opinion. I may be speaking for myself, but I believe everybody in this room agrees with that. We're paying your bills. So agreements that are made that we're going to pay for, I believe you guys need to be communicating with us. Okay. Whether that's raising our rates, whether that's going into an agreement with a solar pollution plan, which I'm going to go on record, I don't agree with that, with the pollution and the solar and the thousands of acres that's going to take up. So that's all I have to say on that.
Okay.
I would like to go back to what we were talking about earlier. And that's inefficiencies in the company. because that's truly the only way that you're going to save money, and us guys here, right? You can show us the slides of the milk and eggs and butter, right? But what we would rather see is a slide that you would show that says, look, you brought an independent contractor to raise the rates. What we'd rather see is you bring in an independent contractor to lower the rates through inefficiencies in the company. So I think that that's what we all like to see.
Well, that's part of our business is every day. Every day we're looking at ways to save money. Every day that's not a one-time thing. It's not a...
But what we have found working offshore, 15 years as a barge engineer offshore, we were able to save massive amounts of money due to inefficiencies. Through simple thinking, simple ideas. Simply bringing out drill pipe already screwed together in tubes instead of single joints. We were able to double our production. It's a very simple idea. Didn't come from us. It came from a third-party contractor. So if you hired these third-party contractors, how much did you determine that you were saving?
It depends on which area of the business. We look at all areas of the business. We're always looking at that.
That's the slide we'd like, the section 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 we'd like, the section